on the heels of this last weekend's Emmys, where Stephen Colbert actually won an Emmy, and he got a standing ovation. Of course, you recall he was terminated from his job as a late-night talk show host.
In the summer, right?
And it caused tremendous controversy. The people rallied around him, got supportive of him. He won an Emmy. Well, Disney has now decided to remove Jimmy Kimmel, the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, from ABC Network indefinitely after his comments about the suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting. This morning, there's mixed reaction about that. There's America in the Morning's Kevin Carr with more.
The battle between late-night talk show hosts and the Trump administration has escalated. On Monday night's Jimmy Kimmel Live monologue, Kimmel commented on the suspect in the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
Later on Wednesday, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr was a guest on Benny Johnson's podcast and said Kimmel's comments amounted to news distortion. He suggested the FCC may have grounds to intervene.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Later in the interview, Carr suggested that parent company Disney should make some changes, not ruling out firing Kimmel. However, he also called for local affiliates to push back on the broadcaster.
The individual licensed stations that are taking their content, it's time for them to step up and say, this, garbage, to the extent that that's what comes down the pipe in the future, isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local communities.
And that's exactly what happened. Nexstar, a major operator of ABC-affiliated stations, announced late on Wednesday that it would no longer broadcast Jimmy Kimmel Live for, quote, the foreseeable future. Consequently, shortly after this, ABC announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. I'm Kevin Carr.
And that seemed to have happened immediately. I mean, that show didn't have a wind-down period like Colbert did. I mean, he's gone.
Yeah, indefinitely, right? Indefinite suspension. President Trump reacted to the news on social media. He congratulated the ABC network for their actions. It's just, look, you got to ask, why is this happening? Why is the FCC chair saying things like, you can do this the easy way or you can do this the hard way?
Yeah, they're playing to the administration and trying to keep everybody in check. I do want to just play. That was a little blip of what Kimmel said, and I'll tell you, listening to it was trouble. I didn't think it was funny. Trying to characterize this kid as anything other than, I don't know. I mean,
MAGA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to just play a little bit more of what he said. The whole exchange is about 5 minutes, but you can find it online. But here's a little bit more.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger-pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
So that was cringy to me, but that was a live interview. I mean, what he played was a live clip of a reporter asking him just like a day after Charlie Kirk's murder. So anyway, what's the line? Where's the line, people?
Yeah, and what we talk about First Amendment, and people keep saying, well, he had a First Amendment right to say that. And I will agree.
Who,
and the
he?
law,
Kimmel?
Yeah, Kimmel.
Yeah.
And the law will agree. And the courts will agree. But his employer can, and we learned this yesterday from David Ryman when we talked about the First Amendment and who it applies to.
Right.
The government, the First Amendment applies to the government not restricting speech. So the government can't limit what you say, or let's say you want to go give a speech at a public park or something.
Right.
They can't shut you down.
Right.
But your employer can say, and we talked about this a lot yesterday, this is a perfect example of that. where if you're posting things on your social media
Right.
and your employer goes, hey, wait a minute,
Right.
we don't want that associated with our business.
Right.
Post whatever you want.
Right.
Exercise your First Amendment rights.
Right.
You're fired.
Right.
And there's there's
Right.
nothing illegal about that. That's
Right.
consistent with the prosecution. Governor Cox also got a mention by Jimmy Kimmel, who was also bringing up posts from Marjorie Taylor Greene posted on X.
Governor Spencer Cox has been a rare voice of sanity after what happened in his state. He urged Americans to choose humanity, connection, and love, and even encouraged us to listen to people we disagree with, which is not the plan, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Klan Mom wrote today, there's nothing left to talk about with the left. They hate us. They assassinated our nice guy who actually talked to them, peacefully debating ideas. Then millions on the left celebrated and made clear they want all of us dead. To be honest, I want a peaceful national divorce. Same thing her husband said about 2.5 years ago.
She actually did post that too, though, right?
Yeah.
So I don't
Kimmel
think
was in rare form. I've never been a huge fan, but he was. I don't know. I can see why ABC was just going. I'm sure his bosses were going, Jimmy, dial it back.
You also have to know that ABC that they're trying to propose a merger in front of the FCC. Right. And the FCC has to approve it. And you have Brendan Carr, who spoke with CNBC about doing it. I don't know if this clip says that he was doing it the easy way or the hard way, but certainly you would think, looking at the surface, that maybe the proposed merger might have something to do with their decision.
These are comedians we're talking about. This is not the news.
Well, look, I can tell you, Jimmy Kimmel is no Johnny Carson, and the issue that arose here where lots and lots of people were upset was not a joke. It was not, making fun or pillaring me or the administration or the president. It was appearing to directly mislead the American public about a significant fact of probably one of the most significant political events we've had in a long time. It's really the most significant political assassination we've seen in a long time. If you have a broadcast TV license, that means that you have something that very few people have. And you're excluding other people from having access to that valuable public resource. And it comes with an obligation to serve the public interest. And again, over the years, there's been a rule in place at the FCC that local TV stations get to preempt programming that they don't think meets the needs of their communities. When it comes to the internet, we want, wide open, robust, debate. And there's no public interest standard there. There's no licensing obligation there. But again, broadcast TV is simply different.
Yeah, and of course, when people wonder, well, the FCC is a government agency, and that's true. But the FCC didn't fire Jimmy Kimmel either. I mean, ABC did, and they're not the government.
That's right. That's right. Even if there was some pressure, and we don't know, but what we do know is Jimmy Kimmel is off the air. That's what we know.
And that may be who knows,
indefinite
probably.
right now.
But just playing those sound bites, I don't know. I cringe.
But they do monologues, right? I mean, that's
know.
what comedians do. SNL. I don't watch those, but there are points like you use comedy to make a point. So
it is unfortunate that on the heels of Stephen Colbert criticizing the Trump administration, Jimmy Kimmel does the same thing, and both of them lose their jobs, and their employers are. I don't know. Of course, you got to look at the bottom line, and we're here to make money, and if something our people are saying is hurting us, maybe we need to do something about it.
Well, look, again, it wasn't actually about Trump. It was about Charlie Kirk. But